Addy from aBlogtoWatch.com, and today I'm here with Toby Sutton of Watches of Knightsbridge, a new auction house, barely 2 years old, I believe. Hello, Toby.
Hi, Eddie.
Could you tell me how you started the company and why you started a new auction house?
We started the company, like you said, about 2 years ago. We thought there was possibly a gap in the market for an auction house specialising in watches, especially within the UK. You know, there's the likes of Antiquorum in Switzerland, etc. But yeah, we saw the kind of gap in the market, and we had the resources to start it up. And hopefully we're getting a good response, and it's going well.
So how many auctions have you done to date already?
We've carried out 7 auctions so far, and we have 5 a year. That's what's planned for this year, and we have approximately 400 to 600 lots every auction.
So you see many interesting pieces come through your hands. Can you tell me some of the more memorable and interesting ones?
Okay, well, this time last year we had the 963 Submariner. I think it's 6200 reference, and we estimated that 20 to 30,000, and it sold for 50,000 including buyer's premium. So that was quite impressive, especially as it really did look like it'd been to the bottom of the ocean and back.
Let's say I have an old watch, okay, a vintage piece, and I want to sell it. How would I go about doing that with you?
Okay, well, you can fill in the form online on our website. You upload at least one picture, and we'll get back to you with details of the watch and an estimated auction selling price, and we can fix a reserve. Usually it's just below the lower estimate price that you're happy with, and we can sign it to the next auction, and we take care of the photography, etc. And there's a seller's commission if the watch sells, and yes, that's how it works.
I noticed there you have a catalogue. Is that your auction catalogue there? Can you show it?
Yep, so this is the latest auction catalogue from the 16th of March. And we had 600 lots consigned to this auction, prices ranging from £100 to 20,000, I think, in this auction was the maximum price on one lot. And these are consigned from private individuals who have one watch, collectors we had a collection of modern Speedmasters limited editions, collectors who want to change or looking to upgrade, downgrade their collections, and also trade sellers, who do it for a business. So it's a wide range of watches. Yeah.
And what would I do if I wanted to buy a watch from your auction?
Okay, if you wanted to buy a watch, then you can either view the catalogue online, or you can buy a printed catalogue from us, and then they come out about 3 weeks before the auction.
Yeah.
And then you can there's a few different ways on how to bid at auction. You have the online bidding, where you can view the auction and bid live during the auction as it happens. You can either turn up on the day and bid in the room, or you can also have a telephone bid where you're bidding over the telephone. So there's a few different ways.
So when I turn up, it's going to be at your address in Knightsbridge?
Yeah, we're based here, 64 Knightsbridge,
Okay.
the whole time. We have auctions here.
So Toby, I see some very interesting watches on the table you
Yes.
have in front of you. Can you show us what you have there?
Yes, okay. So we have here an original Longines Wittnauer Weems watch. They sometimes call this the Pre-Limburg. It's a real museum piece. What we have the enamel dial with the inner rotational navigator's dial. This is an original pilot's aviator's watch, and it's very highly sought after with collectors. I mean, this piece is really very rare and hard to find. It's very unique. A lot of the pilot's watches were very big for their time.
How big is this one then?
I think this is around 40 mil.
Okay.
And this is circa 1933, so in the 30s watches were tiny. You know, pilots' watches originally were worn on the leg of the pilot, so that's why they were that size. And then we have here an Omega. This is a British military Omega 53 from 1953. These were issued to the Air Force, British military RAF, and as you can see here, these were MOD dials. So you've got the military arrow, and you've got the T for the tritium luminous. You can see the hands and the tritium luminous have got a nice patina to them. And then if I take the NATO strap off, you'll be able to see the military markings, which are very interesting. You've got here the military markings when it was issued in 1953 to the RAF. And these are very collectible. All military pieces at the moment are very collectible and you know, highly sought after with collectors.
I see you have a Rolex there now.
You have to have a Rolex. I've got two Rolexes here, both vintage. The first Submariner, you know, Submariners have boomed really in the last 10, 20 years. There's so many different models to collect, and you know, collectors want every single reference. This one's a reference 5513, and it's an early 1963 model with the pointed protector. That's what they call. If you can see, the crown guards go to a point. It's quite a rare feature with the Submariner. And this one has a lovely gloss gilt dial, which is rare to find, because you know, if this was sent back to Rolex, you know, over the last 50 years, and you know, Rolex very often changed the dials for a newer dial because that's what everyone wanted. You know, so it's rare to find an original dial now, and that can make, you know, that can make up to maybe 50% of the watch's value, just the dial. So it's a very important feature. And this is just a lovely vintage piece, original bracelet, riveted Rolex bracelet. And this is the condition collectors want. You know, it's not perfect, there's a few scratches, but it's just a lovely Submariner piece.
You personally, do you like watches?
Yeah, I mean, ever since, you know, I was maybe 6 or 8, when my father used to show me the watches, especially pocket watches.
Yeah.
Back when I was younger, I remember really well. And yeah, just always had a fond memory. And you know, every big birthday, I would get a big watch. Whether I usually end up selling it to upgrade it to something else, which is, you know, not ideal. But yeah, I love watches. You know, just, you know, it really is passion.
So what would your favorite brand be then?
It changes, you know.
What's it today then?
Today, maybe I just say Rolex today. It's a safe one,
Okay.
you know. But I'm talking on, you know, that not just today's Rolexes. I'm talking about the whole history, you know, because Rolex, the history, the watches from their history, you know, you can't not like that. But there's the history behind every brand. You know, every brand, well, a lot of brands, you could say, are my favourite because, you know, there's so much respect for them. But yeah, it's hard to pinpoint on one.
I noticed that you're wearing a Rolex Day-Date. Could you show it to us?
Yes, well, this is, you know, just a nice example of a 1970s Rolex Day-Date, 18 karat solid gold. I mean, it was a birthday present, like I said, 21st birthday present from my father. It's got the original buckle, and it has a Knightsbridge leather strap, which is quite nice to go with it. Yeah, I mean, it's not the most collectible item, but it's just a nice vintage piece. It's you know, something that I quite like.
So, Toby, tell me how difficult it is to get really unique pieces, like let's say one of the moon watches used by NASA astronauts, or maybe even the Day-Date that was worn by JFK, things like that. How difficult is it?
It is very difficult. Hopefully, you know, if you know anyone that has one of these watches, to pass them on to us. I mean, it's very difficult. You know, hopefully, pieces will come up, but you know, they are hard to find. they will probably come to us more than us trying to find them.
Have you heard any interesting stories from owners of vintage watches?
Yes, I mean we had one Rolex Submariner that was worn by a diver called Keith Jessup. He was a famous diver who found, I think it was £20 million worth of gold bullion down in the ocean on one of the ships that was sank in World War II. So there are provenance that comes with some watches, and it really does boost the price. You know, if there's provenance on, especially with the military pieces, you know, if there's details of the pilot who wore that watch in the war, that's what collectors really look for, the provenance.
So, Toby, where do you see Watches of Knightsbridge in the future? Where do you intend to take your company?
I think we'll just grow naturally. Hopefully consign, you know, more quality pieces to the auction, and you know, hopefully one day we'll just be the name that everyone has, you know, when they're looking for maybe a vintage watch. Watches of Knightsbridge is the place to go.
All right, Toby, thank you very much for your time, and wish you the best for your future in auctioning watches.
Thanks, Eddie. Great.